Your platform restricts speech.
Our platform promotes speech unless people violate our rules.
And in a specific direction.
In any direction.
You ask a lot of reasonable people on the internet, the largest problem at the moment is PC culture and how outraged the left is at everything and getting banned from private platforms for violating their terms of service, like misgendering trans people in an effort to harass them.
You do have a rule that's ideologically bent. And it's true. You did the research. You believe this. Well, then you have Ben Shapiro, who did his research and doesn't believe it.
Yeah, and I relied on the American Association of Pediatrics and, Human Rights Council and other...
And I'm sure he has his sources, too, for when he gives his statements.
I love Tim's argument against the Twitter person here, dude. It's like, oh, you rely on the American Association of Pediatrics and the Human Rights Council? Well, I'm sure Ben has his sources, too. I don't know what they are, and I won't be defending them. But why can't Ben misgender people freely, huh? Like, imagine having this conversation on free speech in the same week when the Sacramento DA refused to investigate cops who killed a young black man in his grandmother's backyard for holding up an iPhone. But the state promptly arrested 85 protesters expressing their outrage over this injustice. That happened this week, by the way. Like 3 days ago, dude. Imagine thinking the real violation of free speech is when a private company stops you from repeatedly engaging in targeted harassment, but not when you're arrested by the state for protesting in public. Not being able to harass trans people is the real problem, I say, as the right-wing government tracks down activists and journalists through a secret database compiled by Mexican and U.S. authorities. What is actually protected under the First Amendment if threatening journalists for doing their jobs isn't protected? I just love conservatives who virtue signal about the First Amendment, but then only care about it as it pertains to racists on the internet.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is recruiting staff to compile a database aimed at monitoring journalists around the world.
Also, before you scream, "That's fake news, it's Russia Today," I can't use the NBC footage because we'll get dinged and it's local and I won't be able to monetize this video. But seriously, conservatives, just tell me this. What's a bigger issue? Is it some campus liberals yelling at one another? Or the government arresting and charging women for leaving cans of food and water at the border for migrants? Women whose only crime was wanting to keep people seeking a better life in the U.S. from suffering miserable deaths in the desert. I don't know. I just can't personally comprehend talking about Milo Yiannopoulos getting banned from Twitter after pushing a coordinated harassment campaign on a black actress, while an 11-year-old was arrested in Florida when he refused to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Let that settle in your mind for a moment. A 6th grader in America was arrested and taken to a juvenile detention center, charged with disrupting a school function and resisting arrest without violence, all for refusing to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And finally, as far as institutionalized censorship goes, let's talk about the elephant in the room. On the same week that an Islamophobic poster that linked Muslim Congresswoman Ilhan Omar to 9/11 was displayed on West Virginia GOP Day, the Democratic Party turned around and decided to double down and condemn Omar a second time for her accurate criticisms of Israel. Meanwhile, AIPAC is literally pushed for anti-BDS legislation that limits free speech in this country on behalf of Israel's interests. And these right-wing and centrist shitheads won't let a peep about any of this. If your racist friend getting banned from a platform for violating its reasonable policies is your biggest concern, then perhaps you really don't care about the principle of free speech, but instead, you just care about your racist friends. Maybe you only care about creating a narrative that conservatives are being persecuted unjustly. And I'm sorry to do this to you guys, but conservatives are not being persecuted, especially when they control almost all levers of power in government. Like, what are you saying? Your friends and family leaving you behind has nothing to do with free speech and everything to do with you being an unlikable asshole. I'm Hassan Piker. If you like this video, please share it with your conservative friends and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you'd like to support TYT, please go to tyt.com/join and join TYT membership. It's only $5 a month and it greatly helps us. And this has been The Breakdown.